Now, I want to take you to this. At the request of the Honourable Premier of Mpumalanga, Mandla Ndlovu, Gift of the Givers has activated a full humanitarian response in the province. Lives have been lost, with the youngest reported victim being 2 years old. Hardest hit areas include the Chief Albert Luthuli and Mbombela municipalities. Ali Sablay of the Gift of the Givers joins us now for more. Ali, good evening. You and I spoke last night and you outlined to us and our viewers what your course of action will be and interventions will be in Mpumalanga today. And of course, you had outlined that if by 10 a.m. the assessment is made that the crisis has worsened, that more resources would be activated. Can you give us a sense of your assessment of the day?
Thank you. So our team started off this morning at the Umkondo in Nkomazi district, where our teams went into villages that were severely affected by the current floods, each village consisting more of 200 homes, all credit due to disaster management teams who used every available resources to get into these villages. As we do know, due to the heavy roads, the main roads were inaccessible and they made alternative routes and logistically possible for affected families to get this humanitarian aid. Just as our team was busy in Nkomazi, the rain started coming heavy down. We then had to halt operations, and our teams had to take cover as well, as I was quite concerned of young ones being out in the open. Fortunately enough, we managed to complete the distribution. Our trucks is currently en route into Mbombela. We are doing vast-scale distribution tomorrow to other areas affected. We do know there is more rain predicted for these provinces, but our teams are on high alert, and if needs be, we have additional resources on standby to assist those people affected. But thus far, we've managed to assist in Nkomazi and Mkondo, all the areas that required our assistance. Our teams had just left Carolina as well, where we did a huge-scale distribution with disaster risk management teams.
Yeah. Given the devastation that we've seen in Mpumalanga over the last couple of days, do you believe that there are, or at least what resources do you believe are necessary to intervene at this point, from a safeguarding of vulnerable lives and vulnerable livelihoods at this moment, on the one hand, but also key and critical infrastructure that's responsible for water and electricity provision, roads and bridges of the sorts that might be negatively affected?
We have seen over the last 2 days with our teams being on the ground, many roads have been accessible, some roads washed away completely. We found that there was infrastructure damage in terms of electricity and cell phone towers. And it's impossible, due to the current amount of rain down, it's impossible for any of these departments to access the areas or to start working in these areas with more rain predicted. But we do know from the Mpumalanga side, they've been very proactive. The disaster risk management teams, from the Premier's office to the relevant authorities, from the South African police services, they've all been on the ground, sent through that early warnings, and the community has heeded that call to not be unnecessarily out on the roads. We do know the unfortunate incident where the 2-year-old child was following his mother as she left the home and got washed away in the stream. So to those who's watching this bulletin and are in those areas, and if the precautions is given to not leave your homes, please follow the instructions, as the authorities know what they are talking about, and from past experiences. And we saw the situations in Umtata of last year when the level 9 warning was issued, and the amount of lives lost in that few hours of the rains coming down.
Yeah, I mean, this is a red level 10, which means it's slightly above that of Mtata, which is deeply worrying. Ali, will your teams remain activated on the ground in Limpopo as well as in Mpumalanga over the next couple of days? And if so, what sort of interventions are you expecting to carry out?
Our teams are currently in Limpopo as well, in Mopane, in Vembe, in Sikakune. Tomorrow morning, our teams will be going up with the helicopters, departing for Labora. There's a missing 3-year-old child that disaster management teams are currently looking for. They will be accessing they will be from Limpopo, from Kiani. They will be looking at routes as to how to access villages. In Vembe, there's 48 households cut off as well. So our trucks are en route to Limpopo. They are working closely with the relevant disaster management teams, with the provincial police teams as well, from the districts as well, to see how fast we can roll out aid. But of course, it's all depends on the level warning tomorrow and the amount of rain that comes down. And with level warning 10, we have seen in Umtata, when for that first few hours, The helicopters cannot take out because of the heavy rains and of severe winds, but our teams are currently, and they will remain on ground in both in Mpumalanga and in Limpopo until until they can reach to all those that are severely affected. We do know there's other areas that still cut off. That's a concern currently, and the main concern, and messages coming through in those areas as well, they require food, non-perishable food items, clean drinking water. All the water plants has completely washed away. So that's a main focus for us in terms of distribution currently.
Yeah. Ali, once again, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your work and that of your team. It's truly a thankless job. Ali Sablay is the spokesperson for Gift of the Givers.